Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lea and I'm a German girl, so sorry for my accent. I am not used to talking English, but I hope I can improve when doing this video, so bear with me, I hope I will get better. So this is my first Flosstube video and I will show you my work in progress and finishes and my whole cross-stitching story. On my channel I will upload videos in German and English. I started the first Flosstube series in German and I'm also doing some diamond painting videos. So let's start! This is the second cross stitch I did and I was, I guess, 12 or 13 years old when I started this, so it's far from perfect. I got this from a magazine which I don't have anymore. I bought it on a holiday and as you can see there's color bleeding on this picture. Because when I was 12, I thought it was a really good idea to mark the fabric with a felt tip to see where I have to stitch. Because I stitched this while we were traveling, I wanted to have markings on the fabric so I don't have to carry the pattern around. And of course, I spilled water on it and it bled. Also, the fabric is pretty dirty. You know, that's what you do when you're a kid and doing your first project. So I keep it in this folder and look at it once in a while and think back at the time. So it's fine with me. Oh, I just see here I started this again. But it was only a year later, I think, so the tension is bad and I drew with pencil and I don't think I will continue it, but I'll just keep it for memory. This is a freebie from Yayoda's xstitch.com. I don't know if this even exists anymore. I haven't been on there lately. And this was around the same time I started it and I didn't have all the flosses, so I stitched cross country with the colors I had and the tension again is really bad. I stitched in hand because I didn't have any equipment and I will never finish this. This is a UFO forever. I'll just keep it as a memory. Okay, so the next one is a sunset kit and it was on sale at Joann's. We were on holiday in Florida at the time and I bought it. And this price is a dream price because these US cross-stitch kits can be very expensive in Germany. So I was very happy and I don't have the finished piece with me because it is at my parents' house and they live in the US. They moved there back again in 2011. So maybe in the future I can have a picture from them, but I don't have it right now. And this was my first larger cross stitch. My next kit is a dimensions kit, which was also on sale and I bought it on the next holiday we made to the US. And I think that was the New York State tour we did, and we made a tour to visit where my parents used to live and of course visited New York City and of course I had to hunt for cross-stitch kits. And I finished this piece, but when I moved I lost it in some boxes in the basement, so I don't know where it is right now, but I have it and I have it finished, and it's also not perfect. I still had problems with tension, and at the time it wasn't so important to me to finish something. I just had the kit. I didn't read about anything cross stitch. I just enjoyed the journey, and I didn't care about finishing or anything or how it looked. So I hope I will find it again and show you in a future video too. And the next one. This is a Glendon Place cross-stitch kit. I bought this on my third and last holiday to the US. We were in Florida again, and it was 2008, I think. I was 16 at the time, and we found a little needle shop store, and I was allowed to pick a pattern, and the lady at the store helped me to pick all the colors and the fabric that fits this. Sadly, I don't know anything about the fabric. I think it's a 28 count, and so it could be a jobelin. I don't think it's a linen because it's not wrinkly and it's very even, but I don't know. It was always very soft, so I don't think it's an even weave, but I'm still not very good at all the fabrics. I'm just starting to discover the whole world of cross stitch, what you can do. And yeah, at the time I even knew less. So I love the fabric, but it was a very bad choice for me at the time because it's dark and I was always stitching on 14 count Aida. Yeah, so in between I discovered a lot of times that I skipped a thread. So there are many mistakes in this, which means I will probably have to undo everything and start all over again. But I really love this design and I will do this for sure. I have all the threads. It has a little bit of crannic in the roof, and the moon is glow-in-the-dark crannic. And I have the fitting buttons, a tombstone, and some skulls. So I consider this still a work in progress, which is paused right now, but I will get back to it for sure one day. These are my floss organizers. I do those myself still today, and it's just cardboard, and I glued a paper with squares. I don't know what it's called right now. And I just put holes in them and wrote all the numbers and symbols on it. And I really like it this way. I do it today only for mixed colors or for small projects. Yeah, I'm pretty unsure about the fabric. Maybe you can take a guess what it is. I'm pretty sure it's like a cotton with polyester, I don't know, something like that. Okay, the fairy book I will show you in my plans video. Now this is the next kit I bought. I bought it the same year as the Glendon Place kit, and it's a Dimensions Gold. Now this is a whole nother level for me. All the Dimensions and Sunset kits were only like 2/1, and some half stitches for the background, but that's it. And with this gold kit, oh my. It was, at the beginning, it was so difficult for me, and it still is. I started 2018 to redo some parts that I started that were not perfect with the tension. And the difficulty in this is that you have 14 count, or no, I think it's even 18 count. It is stitched on 18 count Ada, and all those kits are still the old kind of kits that were made in the US. So the fabric is very good. And the difficulty is that you have to stitch sometimes with 4 strands over one and 3 strands, and it's very confetti heavy. You have to swap how many strands you're using. So it's still difficult for me to make the stitches look neat, especially the thick stitches. But I really like it. It's very beautiful colors, and it's really worth the trouble because it looks so pretty. And she even has some gold skein in her dress. So this is how it looks today. So I worked from the button when I started in 2008, and then I worked up her dress and up to the top, and I had to rip a lot because the holes were so big because the tension was so bad. So you might see here on her skin, on her arm, there are holes that I couldn't get back to be small again, so I just left it. I think it's okay, and I hope you won't see it in the end that much, and I will do my best to do neat stitches around her. So as you can see, I already made some back stitches. The back stitches in her dress are false, but I backstitched the flowers, her hair, her face, and I do just a little on as I go, so it's not that much. I still have to do every single strand of hair needs a backstitch in this piece. Yeah, I will do that when I have the patience for that. Yeah, I also don't like back stitches, but I really love, of course, the detail it adds. So this is my Q snap. It's an 11-inch, I think. And I just put some strips of felt on the sides. Now this is all how I keep all my stuff when I'm working. I don't have project bags right now. I want to change that. But for now I just keep it in a Ziploc bag and put everything I need for working inside, my threads, my scissors. I'm also testing Thread Heaven right now for some threads. And of course I make working copies of the chart. And back then when I started, I thought it was a really good idea to cut the copied pattern into small pieces. So I only work on the cut piece, but that's really impractical. So I don't have a color copier today, so I have to use what I have and stuck them all back together with tape now. That's how I'm working. So I have my needle threader in here, and I have this is my core kit that I take out and take to the next project when I'm rotating. These are markers that disappear in the air, so they only last for like 5 hours and then you can see the color, but I really love them to mark the color I'm currently working on. And Thread Magic, which I'm just bought and I'm currently testing how it works. But I'm not sure yet if that's really practical. And here again are my floss cards. I only use floss cards in this project for mixed colors, so I don't have to mix them all the time, and when I have leftover of the mixed fabric, I can put them back on there. And I noted on the card which colors they are and if they're half cross or full cross. And you can see right here at the bottom, the symbol V is half cross with 4 strands. Oh my. The rest of the floss I have in these pill boxes. Dimensions kits, as you probably know, don't have color numbers. Or they do, but mainly they're separated with their names. So I wrote the name on a little piece of paper and just stuck it on there with some tape. As you can see, there are lots of colors in this picture, and these are the boxes I keep them in. Okay, now I have a very cute project. I bought this on holiday in London at Liberty. It's a textile heritage kit and it's a needle case. And you can see again, like 10 years ago, I was very sloppy, so I forgot to do the back stitches, or I didn't care, or I didn't want to bother. It's really old and very well used. I just put it in my bag when I travel. So you can see a bit that it's well loved. I love the sweet tassel. Everything was included in this kit, which I liked. And it's not straight anymore because it's just cardboard in there, so it's a bit wonky. So that was all up until like 2009 that I stitched all these things. Or 2010? No, I think 2009. Then I made a really long break. I had life and school and started to go to university, and I moved a lot in that time, and so I made a really long break, and I didn't stitch anything until 2015 when my boyfriend and I played the game Legend of Zelda, and I thought, you know, I don't want to stitch on the angel or on the difficult haunted house. Let's see if there are any Zelda cross-stitch patterns. And I found this stained glass pattern, and it was a freebie on Etsy. I'm sorry, I really don't find the link now anymore, but I'm sure you can find it when you search for Zelda stained glass cross-stitch pattern. And I fell in love with it, and I stitched it on 14 count, so it's really gigantic. Just look at those colors. I love it so much. It's such a joy to stitch this, because you don't have confetti at all. You have very many different colors. It's so colorful, and you always have a really nice amount of the same color. You don't have really large color blocks, so it's just the perfect in between. That's so much fun to stitch. Now I try to show you how big it is. I think it's 1 meter, which is a little more than a yard. Like, it could be even more actually. So you can see the castle of Hyrule, and I also stitched at the top. Here's the Triforce, and there will be a really large Zelda head with her long blonde hair. So I stopped this again like 2 years ago and just stitched on it once in a while, but it is definitely in my rotation right now. I just paused it because I started watching Flosstube last fall in 2018, and I discovered so much crazy stuff out there. All the awesome different designs you can stitch, that I am currently trying out everything that really interests me, and it's not that much. Just to tell you, I don't have 200 charts right now. I have like 5 WIPs, I think. I didn't count, but like 5 right now. So, but that still stops me from finishing and keeps me busy. But I'm really looking forward to switching back to this piece because I'm currently stitching on 25 count and on 28 count and 32, and this will be so easy to stitch and a really nice variation. Okay, so this is the first piece I started in 2018, and I started it in October, and I finished it on the 1st of November, so it took me a month, and I only stitched on this because I loved it so much. I found this piece on Etsy. It's from Lola Lotta store. I will link it below. And I thought this was so cute, and the reason why I looked on Etsy in the first place was that I wanted to start a hate finally. And I only stitched on 14 count up till then, and I was really unsure if I can stitch on 25 count and how this works, and if I should do 10 stitch or full crosses. So I thought maybe I buy a small piece of fabric and just find a small piece that I can test the different kinds of stitches on. So I bought this 25 count Lugana in a dark blue, and I looked for this, I looked for a small piece, and I found this super cute ghost, and it was very important to me that the picture had some coverage, so it was like a little similar to a hate. And yeah, so I found this one, and this made me buy the dark blue Lugana, and this was my first piece on 25 count, and it is stitched in half crosses. Now, just a small note on that. Personally, I currently find it hard to lay the threads down evenly on that small of a count when I stitch with 2 threads, and I had to stitch this in half crosses because it has mixed colors, and you can't do that 1/1. So decision was easy that I do half crosses in here. And yeah, maybe the light thread on the dark fabric is not very forgiving, so you can see when threads lie not very, very perfect. Now I still haven't decided yet what I want to do, in which way I want to do a really large hate, and I don't know if I will ever do a really large hate, but that was just my thought process on that. So then, of course, I had to start a project with full crosses to see if I like that better. And I do like it better, even though it takes longer. So maybe I will give Tent a try in the future again. But this is a hate story keep, so I thought this was a really nice project to step into the hate world. It's called Perfect Wisdom and it's an owl. I will show you the picture right here. It's 1/1 on 25 count Lugana. And this is the background. And I'm really unsure about the background because it should be a dark blue night, and on the pattern it calls for the really, really dark brown. It's 3371, I think. And on the fabric and with the dark blue around it, it looks so bright. So I posted it in the hate group and everyone told me, okay, you'll be fine. It's just because your fabric is so dark that the brown looks so bright, because it looks almost like copper, and it's, when you see it separately, it's really, really dark. So I am curious how this will turn out, and I hope it will be fine when it's done. But I didn't want to buy another piece of fabric, so I had the perfect leftover from the ghost to fit this on. And I will, of course, keep you updated how that is going. So here you can see how big it is. And I really like to use some very bright thread to mark the corners of my project, so I can measure like 4 times and see that I have enough space at the top and the bottom. And I really want to make sure that I don't make the mistake that I've heard a lot of people do talk about, which is to stitch like the wrong way or start in the wrong place and then they run out of fabric, which is a nightmare. So I started to mark my fabrics with this thread, and I calculate how large the picture is and mark it off like that. I'm currently overdubbing the video because I don't want to film 2 times, and overdubbing is pretty easy for me because I can just put it in my program and swap the lines. So it could be that not every comment fits the video at all times. So right now I'm just explaining that I love 1/1 very much. And I will start parking with this one, but currently there's only the dark blue and the brown, and a bit below there's a lighter blue, and so I'm stitching right now color by color. And I stitch in rows that are 20 stitches wide. Okay, next project. This is another Lola Lotta pattern. This is a gift for somebody, so I sadly can't show you how it will look finished. But this is again on 25 count Lugana, and I bought a really, really large piece for many projects to come because I love this size. And this is the Zweigart with the gridding that washes out. This is again with half crosses, and I have to say with these colors the threads lie much better. They look much neater than with my ghost, so I think it's just a matter of practice. And I love the colors so much. These pieces, they have the feeling of a large full coverage, but they're really small and still have very pretty details. I just love these designs so much. Because I'm at the point, I think it's a starter thing when you start getting into cross stitch, you really don't understand samplers. So I don't understand samplers right now. I'm sure this will change because it changes for almost anyone I watch on YouTube. But right now I'm really into the coverage, and this is the perfect thing to do. It can be finished in a month or two when you keep at it. Yeah, and I have to do this in half crosses because it has mixed colors. It has a lot of mixed colors, so I can't do full cross. It will be too thick for me. I really don't like that. But I will show you in the end, of course, when it's finished and gifted to the person, what it was that I was stitching on. And again, I just keep it in a large Ziploc bag. I really like this system. And I will only change it when I get the time to sew myself some really nice project bags. So this is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I currently have also started a chatelaine, the medieval town mandala, but I am still waiting for some specialty flosses. I will test out some silk floss and the beading, and it's all so exciting. I can't wait to show you. And in general, I really love to watch videos where you see the start and the organizing of a project, so there will be a lot of that. And I won't have the time to do a weekly vlog or a regular update, but whenever something happens that I think is interesting for you, I will of course take you with me on the journey and film it for you. And I hope this video was fun for you. Really looking forward to your comments. I hope you can understand me. I hope it's not too cringy how I talk. I hope it really gets better as I have practiced, because like for 10 years I haven't spoken a single word in English. So practice will make me better. And I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you next time, and I hope I see you as a subscriber or a commenter. So until next time, bye bye!